Right, next up we got UFC 317, headlined by El Matador Ilia Topuria as he takes on Charles Bronx Oliveira, and in the co-main event in the flyweight division, Alexandre Pantoja will be defending his belt against Kai Kara France. But for some reason, I'm looking into this card and I can only find 8 fights on there. Now, for a UFC pay-per-view, that is very strange. For any UFC event in general, that is very strange. Even on the official UFC website, when you look at the events, there's only 8 fights, 1 early prelim, 2 main prelims, and then 5 fights on the main card. Is there anything I'm not aware of? Please let me know in the comment section if there's a reason why there is such few fights on this card. I'm very interested. I hope there's a couple more fights. But anyway, due to that, we may as well do a full card, picks and breakdown. Kicking off the start of the card, we've got Yonata Denise. I think I said that name right. But anyway, we've got Honata Denise taking on Justin Tafa. Now in this one, both guys are strikers in the heavyweight division. Anyone can knock anyone out, let's be honest. But I'm going to favour Denise in it. He's got quite an extensive kickboxing and Muay Thai background. So when it comes to the striking, he's a bit more accomplished, a bit more experienced. So I'm going to back him to get the victory over Justin Tafa. Then after that, we have Viviane Araujo taking on Tracy Cortez. Now Araujo is 38 years of age against Tracy Cortez being 31. I think 38 years of age at strawweight, you're getting on a bit, let's be honest. So I'm a favour Tracy Cortez to get the victory in this fight. Following up, you got Jack Hermansson as he takes on Robocop Gregory Rodriguez. Jack Hermansson, we haven't seen him since February 2024. He did defeat Joe Pyfer in that fight, but we haven't seen him since. That's quite a long time out of the octagon, and he's not getting any younger. He's 37 years of age. Gregory Rodriguez is 33. He's in his prime. When you think about sort of a middleweight, he is in his prime and he looks good. He likes to walk people forward. He's coming off a loss to Jared Cannonier, but he looked good in that fight until he got stopped. So I am going to favour Robocop to get the victory in this. I think he's going to maybe put the pressure on. He's going to throw bombs at Jack Hermansson. And Jack Hermansson isn't the hardest hitter. I don't think he's going to respect the striking so much of Jack Hermansson. He's going to throw them bombs. He's going to drop him. He's going to knock him out. Then, kicking off the main card, we have the young prospect Peyton Talbot taking on Felipe Lima. This is going to be an interesting fight. Felipe Lima looks very skilled. He looks like it could be a problem. He's going to cause problems for Peyton Talbot. Peyton Talbot coming off a loss to Randy Barcelos. He's going to be wanting to bounce back. There was a lot of hype about him, a lot of talk about him. Looked like he was going to be getting pushed. People were talking about a future potential matchup between him and Sugar Sean O'Malley. Obviously that got halted, and now he's going to have to try to bounce back and climb and hopefully at someday get into them rankings. I am going to favour him. I do think he's maybe going to be a bit rangier, maybe a bit more slick with some of his striking. I think Felipe Lima is going to try press the action, maybe try and make it a bit of a dogfight, maybe even try to take it to the ground. But I am going to back Peyton Talbot, but I do think this is going to be a bit of a coin flip. Anyone can get the victory in this one. Then we've got Beneil Dariush taking on Money Moicano. Now, again, both guys getting on a bit. 36 years of age in the lightweight division. But I think Beneil Dariush, he was on such that long win streak previously. I think he's going to be on a sort of downward trajectory right now. Whilst Money Moicano, even though he's lost to Islam Makhachev, taking on short notice, he's looked good every time he's pretty much in there. Even before he got taken down, he looked like he was doing well on the feet against Islam. And you know, he's had some good wins not too long ago against the likes of Benoit Saint Denis, whilst Beneil Dariush has been fighting elite competition in the likes of Charles Oliveira, Arman Sarukian. But he's getting stopped in most of these fights. Now, I just feel like Money Moicano, as he says, money can't lose. Money Moicano can't lose. He wants money. So I feel like in this fight, he's going to be the one to get his hand raised. Not just because he wants money. Like I said, I just think Beneil is kind of coming down right now. At 36 years of age, I don't see him jumping back up again. I think Money Moicano is going to get the victory. Then after that, interesting one. You know me, love a bit of Joshua Van, but I think he's stepping up a bit too high right now. He's taking on Brandon Royval. Now, Brandon Royval has fought the best of the best. He's fought the likes of Alexandre Pantoja. He's fought and defeated Brandon Moreno. He's recently defeated a surging prospect in Tatsu Taira. Whilst Joshua Van, he's taking these incremental steps up the ladder, and it's like he's just hopped a bunch and he's jumping in there with Brandon Royval. Again, like I said, I think Brandon Royval is going to be too experienced. He's fought the elite competition of this division, and Joshua Van, he hasn't quite been there yet. So I do favour Brandon Royval to get the victory in this one. As much as I want Joshua Van to do it, and it'd be great to see some fresh blood in and around the mix of that top level of the division, I think this is going to be a bit of a learning curve for him. At 23 years of age, he's not going to get past Brandon Royval, in my opinion, and he's going to learn from it, and he's going to get better from it in the future. I do see Joshua Van being a future UFC champion. Just don't think he's going to get there. Not obviously this ends in a title fight. Just don't think this is going to be the step for him to get that shot from this fight. As much as I'd love to see it, I want him to get the win. And if he does, I'll be fucking buzzing. But I'm favouring Brandon Royval to get the victory in this fight. Then we're into the co-main event. Alexandre Pantoja. And he's taking on Kai Kara-France. Great matchup this. Alexandre Pantoja, he looks unstoppable. He's gritty, he grinds his opponents out, he applies pressure, he takes them down, they get back up, he throws scrappy punches in bunches as he's pressing forward, then he goes for the takedown. He just grinds constantly, he doesn't stop working. And he's against Kai Kara-France, who for the flyweight division, he hits like a fucking truck. He touches people, they've been going down. So, Kai Kara-France for me, his best chance, his only real chance that I can see, is if he can stuff the takedowns, keep the fight standing, and throw punches in bunches, as I say. He puts them combinations together. He goes swinging to try to take Alexandre Pantoja's head off. He has to stop the takedowns. He has to not just get grinded out against the fence and dragged to the mat and get him back up and rinse and repeat as Alexandre Pantoja could well do to him. He needs to stop that. He needs to stuff the takedown, get them underhooks, flip them back up, keep the fight standing, get into his sort of range where he can land his shots. That's what he needs to be doing. And I hope he can. I would love to see him get the victory in this. I do like a bit of Kai Kara-France. So, but my head says Alexandre Pantoja is going to get the victory. He's going to do what he does best. And like I said, grind his opponents out. He doesn't really stop too many people. So he could be in for a 5-round fight here. Like I said, my head says Pantoja is going to win. But I'm not writing Kai Kara-France out. I kind of want him to win. But I am favouring Alexandre Pantoja. That's who I think is going to get the win in this one. Then into the main event of the evening. El Matador, Ilia Topuria, taking on Charles Oliveira. So, how do we see this one going? Now, Charles has been in the UFC for a very long time, let's be honest. He's had his ups and his downs, especially at featherweight. And then he's kind of went on a mad streak. He started surging. He looked almost unbeatable at one point. People were talking about why couldn't we have seen Charles versus Khabib. And then Islam came along. And then again, Ilia Topuria at featherweight looks unstoppable. He's gone through everybody. Literally, he's kind of climbed the ladder, got to the top, beats Volk, beats Holloway, and he's like, what else is there for me to do? You know what? I'll go to lightweight. I'll take their king out. Then Islam went up. So he's fighting Charles. Now, Charles is obviously going to be the taller, rangier, bigger man in there. But I'm sure Ilia's pretty much used to that most of his career. You know, he's fought the likes of, I know it's early and he's not exactly Charles Oliveira, but he's fought the likes of Damon Jackson, who's maybe a similar frame, so to speak. He fought Jai Herbert at lightweight previously. Jai Herbert did drop him with a head kick. And then Ilia got back up and knocked him spark out. Folded him. And so he's fought these types of body types, but he hasn't fought anyone like Charles Oliveira, who's dangerous. You know, Volkanovski, well-rounded fighter, brilliant everywhere. Max Holloway, volume striker, shall we say, predominantly a striker. Doesn't really take too many fights to the ground. I think he kind of grinded out Yair Rodriguez utilized a bit of wrestling there, but predominantly volume striker, I'd say. Whilst Charles, he seems to hit hard when he hits people. They go down too. You know, he knocked out Michael Chandler. He's dropped a lot of people that he's fought, but he also gets hit as well. And he gets dropped too. Most people wouldn't follow him to the ground, but Islam did. That was the difference. Ilia Topuria has got great Greco-Roman wrestling. He's also got a good submission game, but he also has amazing boxing. He throws combinations together well, and he lands on the target. And Charles does get hit. He does get dropped in his fights. And that is the kind of thing that's swaying me towards Ilia Topuria, is that I think he can land on Charles, and he will. He just needs to close that range. If Charles can keep him at kicking range, maybe the end of his jab, at the end of his kicks, and if he wants to, if he can, try and get the fight to the ground, then that will be a real test for Ilia to see him go up against someone with the submission game of Charles Oliveira. That'll be interesting. But my head's just saying Ilia's going to do what Ilia does. He's going to march forward. He's going to apply that sort of smart, small amount of pressure, slowly edging forward each time until Charles is backed up against the cage. And when he's backed up against the cage, he's going to throw them combinations and, you know, dip to the body, come up top, overhand, on the jaw, on the chin. And Charles is going to go down and he's going to finish the job with some ground and pound. That's kind of what my mind is seeing. So that's where I'm going to lean towards. I'm going to lean towards Ilia Topuria getting the victory. But I'm not writing Charles off. A lot of people seem to be writing Charles off. I think this is a great matchup. It's going to really say a lot about Ilia Topuria, especially at the weight class above. We're going to see a lot in this fight. Unless he just walks in there and does a demolition job, who knows. But let me know how you see this fight going on. Back in Ilia. I think Ilia's going to get the victory. And is he going to call out Paddy after? Who do you think he will call out if he gets the win? Could we see that fight? It'll be a good one. The build-up will be very interesting, very entertaining. But right now, we're at UFC 317. See what happens. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the comment section below. How you see any of these fights play out that we just ran through, let me know in the comments. But anyway, make sure you follow the page. Make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the fights.